Welcome to Let's Talk with Dami and Laura. Today we're talking about churches and pastors in Nigeria.
Interesting topic.
Yeah,
So you yourself, you're a Christian.
of course I'm a Christian, but I'm a modern day Christian.
What does that mean?
It means a Christian that understands himself, that has a relationship with God.
Mm.
A Christian that don't just believe everything the pastor says, like you're gonna make money in 2025. As you're going here, you receive blessing. Every single thing that comes out from the pastor's mouth, you receive. I receive in the name of Jesus. I'm not that kind of Christian.
Okay.
As a Christian, you need to have a personal relationship, one on one with God.
Mm.
The pastor is only a middleman that connects you to God.
Mm.
If you don't have that one on one relationship with God, you can't call yourself a Christian.
Yeah. And so have you always been a Christian? Like, have you always gone to church, like growing up and into adulthood?
I would say I wasn't born a Christian. My mom was my mom wasn't a Christian when I was born, but she became a Christian, so I was still very
Oh.
young. Yeah,
So your mum wasn't a Christian, like, she hasn't always been a Christian?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. My mom became a Christian 1998, 1999 or so.
Mm.
That was when we started going to church. I was born in Shurubin in Sarafin Church, like we call it White Garment Church.
Yeah.
That was where I was baptized or dedicated. Is it dedicated? Yeah, dedicated as a child.
Oh, so not as like a baby, you wasn't, a few months old and then baptized.
Yeah, well, maybe we call it. Is it? Yeah,
I think it's
yeah,
baptized.
baptized. Is it? Yeah, or baptized or child dedication as they call it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, was it? Yeah,
And then as you was growing up and become an adult, did you still go to
yeah.
church?
I did go to church. Yeah, I did go to church because yeah, as a teenager, I would always go to church with my mom. Even
Yeah.
when I turned 18, I was still going to church with my mom. Yeah, the church. I've been a part of the church for a long time. It's only when I turned 22, 23, I stopped going to church like
Mm.
for a very long time. I, w- I will go every now and then, but not
Yeah.
not all the time. Then when I turned 29, 28, I started going to church again full time. Yeah.
And so Nigeria's Christian and Muslim, isn't it?
Um Nigeria is a Christian and Muslim country. I think we
Yeah.
have more Muslim. The Muslim just slightly edge it. But there are
Mm.
other religions as well. We're not going to talk about that. There are
Yeah, we're focusing
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah,
Christianity,
yeah. There
aren't
are lots
we?
of religion, but Muslims is the dominant religion in
Mm.
Nigeria. Then followed by
Yeah. And so
Christianity. Yeah.
is there lots of churches in Nigeria? Like if you was to come out of your house, will you see lots of churches or places of worship?
Um. Let me put it this way. There, there are more churches than schools in
No.
Nigeria. There are more churches than government parastatals in Nigeria. There are more churches than banks in Nigeria. There are more churches than what's it called? Uh, there are more churches than industries, factories in Nigeria. There are more churches than there are more churches than even some businesses in Nigeria. So that is where what the problem lies. When you have so many churches and less industries for production.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know where I'm going. Why won't the people be poor?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Just imagine the amount of church or churches we have in Nigeria. Imagine half of them are converted into industries,
What do you mean?
like industries, different like production, manufacturing industries.
Mm.
There will be lots of job for people. But
Yeah.
people just,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
people just go to church to pray.
Mm.
Pray that manna will fall from heaven. God will come and save us. That's, yeah.
Well, I was going to say, why do you think so many people in Nigeria are looking to the church and going to church and literally their whole life is church, going to church and serving their pastor or serving their God?
Um, it's a generational thing. Yeah. For me, I think many of them have been brainwashed, but good thing is that some of them, their eyes are beginning to open. In Nigeria, we believe that God will come and save us.
Mm,
That is a myth. God will not come and save you. You're the only one that can save yourself. People
yeah.
always, people always say, oh, one phrase we use very well in Nigeria. Oh, now only God could save us. Now only
Mm,
God could save us. God is only watching at you, waiting for you to make the right move so that He can help you. If you don't
mm.
make any move, He won't come and just help you to change your situation.
Well, then I ask, who's telling them that? Is it God Himself, or is it the pastor who in church is telling people God will save you, God will give you wealth, God will give you health, God will give you this, that, everything that your heart desires? You know, is God saying this to you through yourself, or is everybody listening to this one pastor?
They, you have to understand that the pastor is like a middleman. God speaks through him to the people. We have to believe what the pastor says, isn't it?
Well, no,
Hmm.
no.
But that's why I say it's a generational thing. We're
In
Christians. Our parents were Christians. We're Christians. Our kids will be Christians. We believe, always believe what the pastor said. And that is one of the problems.
what I can't understand is why, if you believe in God and you're Christian, why do you not think that you can have a direct relationship with the God that you are praying, serving, doing everything in your day-to-day life to please God? Why do you not think that He would not speak to you directly rather than through a pastor?
There are people that believe God speaks to them directly, whether Christian pastors, ordinary people.
Mm.
They believe that God speaks to them. They believe God answered their prayer. But the pastor's job as the middleman is to tell you what you need to do. That this is what God wants you to do. You read your Bible, it helps you to like guide, let me say guide you or enlighten you about the Bible. So your is your pastor, is your papa. So you have to believe is your father in the Lord. Let me use that. That's what the word we use, father in the Lord. So you have to believe whatever I said. Yeah. So
And so, in that case, then, do you think that people believe that the pastors can perform miracles? Because I will never forget, there was one time when I was watching your church service
mm.
online, and the pastor had touched them, and people were falling to the ground.
Well, sometimes it's not miracles. Miracles is not happening. I do believe miracles do happen,
Mm,
but I don't believe it's been done by pastors.
yeah.
Sometimes them falling to the ground is the Holy Spirit taking over them by whatever connection they have at that particular time. They might be meditating without even knowing. You can fall on the floor.
But is the connection with the pastor?
No, no, no. Whatever prayer or whatever singing that is going on for me, I can go into the spirit just by listening to a song.
Yeah, but
You
these people
understand?
were falling to the ground when their pastor was touching them, like touching their shoulder, and then all of a sudden they're falling to the ground
Yeah,
and
yeah. They can.
rolling around the ground. I couldn't understand what my eyes were
Yeah,
seeing.
maybe they have evil spirits in them that is tormenting them. That's why they're falling on the
So the
ground and rolling on the
pastors
ground.
miraculously removed the evil spirit, or God has at that time, at that point,
Mm.
come to that pastor to help remove that evil spirit.
Some people, if you touch them 10 times, I was in the church. If you touch them 10 times, they will fall 10 times. I roll on the floor 10 times. 10 times. So I don't see any evil spirit living them. If not, if you fall once and roll on the floor, you're not supposed to fall again, isn't it?
Wow, exactly.
Yeah. So that I don't fully understand. So
I
I'll
would
leave it
love
there.
for somebody who has perhaps fallen to the ground
Mm.
and explain why.
I've fallen
Like,
to the ground before, but my connection, I know the kind of deep connection I have because I always, if I tend to meditate, I always find myself in places,
yeah, of
like yeah,
course.
in places. So not falling to the fall and start rolling on the floor. People that roll on the floor, I just feel they have like a demonic or a marine spirits in them. Yeah, but when it comes to miracle, I believe miracle does happen.
But
But
do you think
yeah,
God is performing that miracle?
do I think God is performing the miracle? Um, no, I don't think so. If God perform a miracle in your life, that miracle will be permanent. That's what I
Mm,
believe. If God perform a miracle in your life, it won't be just a 1 day miracle. The
mm,
miracle will be permanent. People will see it. Wow, look at this person. Look at this person. Just like a blind man that everybody know that this person is blind. And the person started, God perform a miracle through the pastor. And the person started saying, everybody will see it. Your life has been changed forever.
yeah,
You understand? It's not 1 day God perform a miracle. You're blind and you started seeing, and the following day you're blind again. Yeah, God doesn't.
yeah.
That is not a miracle that is performed by God, or a miracle that is performed by God through the pastor. You understand what I mean?
Mm. Can anybody be a pastor?
Yeah, anybody can be a pastor. You can be a pastor. I can be a pastor. All I need to do, start going to church, give my life to Christ, get baptized, follow on, um, register. There's a school, pastor school, we call theology schools. You go there and you start studying to become a pastor. And at the end of your study, maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's a year, you become a pastor and you start preaching. But if you don't want to do that, you can go to a church, work under the man of God for a few years. And if you do good, you've done well, the man of God can ordain you because he's, as a pastor, he can ordain somebody that has grown under him to become a pastor. So it is acceptable as well. You can become a pastor. So what you need to do is to start going to church.
So all I need to do is go to church and go to school.
Go to church, be baptized, join the leadership team or whatever, or start working under the pastor, start learning. Then in a few years time you can become a pastor. My younger brother Dan is the pastor. They call him pastor.
Pastor Daniel.
Pastor Daniel. My other brother is a pastor. Pastor Jeremiah.
So anybody can be a
My
pastor.
uncle is a pastor. So I've got lots of pastors in my family. So yeah.
But then, to me, what gives them that right to feel that they can pass messages from God? Why would somebody believe that God cannot speak to them directly and give them the messages?
It's not that they don't believe that God cannot speak to them directly. Some people just come to church. They don't have that one-on-one connection with God.
But they have the connection with the pastor
They
that's gone
believe
to school.
yeah, they believe whatever the pastor says. They will do whatever the pastor asks them to do. They're just like sheep.
My mind's blown. I can't get my head around how you can call yourself a man of God or woman of God and you claim that God is speaking to you directly and that you're passing messages on and that you're fooling people that you can have health, wealth, you can be this, you can be that. It's not come from God.
But how will you know it's not come from God?
Because as of today, I can go to school,
Mm.
go to church, read the Bible and say I'm Pastor Laura
Yeah, you can do that.
and that God is speaking to me directly.
Yeah, have a little bit of a psychological knowledge. Then you can, like, to manipulate people. Then you're a pastor.
So are we saying that pastors are manipulating people?
Most of them are.
So then could we say that they're scamming people?
I wouldn't use the word scamming.
Are there real
Mm.
pastors in Nigeria?
For me personally, I always give the men of God the benefit of the doubt. I'm not somebody that jump in to judge a man of God. Oh, you're doing this, you're
Mm.
doing that. I always want to get a personal revolution from God, revolution from God about a particular man of God before I decide, okay, is this person a real man of God or not? Because who am I to judge? I get my personal revelation from God. But when it comes to Nigeria and the world at large, there are great men of God that have
Mm.
come and gone. And I've read about men of God, but at the end of the day, I'm still not sure if these men, God was speaking through them or
Mm.
God was really using them.
Mm.
I'm not 100% sure.
So then, why would somebody want to be a pastor? Because I think there are genuine pastors who are out there and in Nigeria who probably they truly believe in Christianity, they truly believe in God, they truly believe in good, and they want to pass that message and share that with others. But there's a lot that I think do it for power.
Yeah, not
And
just.
I've seen it.
Hmm.
I've seen it in church that you have been to. I'm not going to mention names or delve down too far, but my personal opinion as I was watching not just him but the stories I've heard, etc., etc., there's a little bit of a power trip that I think some of them have. And that it's like they like that they're seen as this almighty pastor who's speaking to God and can tell these people you can have this and that.
Yeah. For me, whatever a man of God is saying, I don't believe them.
Mm.
All of them, I don't believe them because I see them as ordinary people
Mm.
that just have something. You understand? Something.
What's that something?
Just a little bit of power to control people. But they can't control me.
Mm.
They fully control people that are weak.
Mm. Well, I don't even think it's necessarily weak. I think if you genuinely believe in God and you believe in your religion,
Mm.
it's not necessarily that they're weak.
But as a human being, you have to find yourself.
Mm.
You can't just be believing everything that a man of God is telling you. That is what I'm saying.
Mm.
It's not, there's a big problem in Christianity, but it's not all about the pastors.
Mm.
It's the people as well. As a human
Yeah.
being, you just can't be going to church
Mm.
for the sake of going to church. Oh, I'm going to church, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. No.
Well, how often are people going to church in Nigeria?
Sometimes 3, 4 times a week,
Mm.
depending. Me, when I used to go to church, when I was really going to church, I used to go to church every single day of my life.
No.
I'm going to explain to you. Monday, we have youth meeting.
A youth.
Youth.
So is that just for young people
Yeah,
to go
for young
to?
people, that is Monday. Tuesday, we have Bible studies where we come to study about the Word of God. That's where you learn the Word of God. You can ask questions about the Bible. Wednesday, we have choir practice, rehearsal. You come and you rehearse to sing Sunday. Thursday, we have prayer warriors. That's when, if you don't know how to pray, you join that prayer warriors team and you become fire. You start to fire. You start to pray. That is for 1 hour, 2 hours
So you
in
have
the
to be
evening.
taught how to pray.
Not really taught how to pray. You have to pick up point and just pray. The only way you can learn how to pray is to pray. Do you understand? When they bring out so many points
Well,
for you to pray.
is there a right or wrong way to pray?
There's no right or wrong way to pray, but you pray with points, isn't it? There's so many points, like things you want, things you things. You can pray for people, pray for things, pray for places. So there are different things you
Mm.
can pray for. So with that, you have so many prayer points to pray. So that's how you can learn of the different like prayer points. And yeah, because we pray for, when we used to go to prayer point, you can pray for your family, you can pray for your friends, you can pray for the pastor, you can pray for the church, you can pray for the society, you can pray for your school, you can pray for your so many. You can pray for so many things. So
You
yeah,
can pray for anything in
yeah, yeah,
life.
yeah. You can pray for anything in life. You can pray for finances, open doors, breakthrough, miracles. You can pray for so many things.
Mm.
So that's for Thursdays. Then Fridays is miracle service. That is when the pastor.
I can't cope.
Fridays is miracle service. That is when the pastors does the miracles and deliverance and all that. Yeah, that is for Fridays. Then Saturdays is choir rehearsals again to prepare yourself to sing on Sunday. So then we all know Sunday is the main service. Everybody goes to church on Sunday. So people that
Yeah.
don't attend that Monday to Friday, people that don't that Monday to Friday to Saturday they can. Yeah, it's not everybody that's in the choir, isn't it? It's not everybody that is youth. We have
Yeah, of
older people.
course.
Yeah, but Sunday service is a compulsory for everybody. So that's why when you go to church on Sunday, you see more people because people that are working might not have the time to attend the weekly service, but Sunday they must be there.
Yeah, well, I can understand Sunday service, but not something going on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, that is what I've done for many years when I was growing up. Yeah, that is what I've
What,
done.
as a child, teenager,
As a
young
teenager, yeah,
adult?
as a teenager,
Oh, okay.
young adult, I did that for a few years.
Which I can understand. I mean, is it then seen as the church is trying to keep the younger ones out of trouble by giving them something to do?
Um, at the time I was growing up, to an extent, I would say it was okay. I was growing up. My mom was a Christian. I love going to church. I'm not
Yeah.
going to say I did. I loved going to church. The
Mm.
pastor that time was a very brilliant man. Was a good man. I love going to church. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy doing it. I enjoyed doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I learned so many things from it, which yeah has helped me, has built me as a
Mm.
man. So yeah.
Yeah.
But growing up as an adult now, the few things I've known about life, men of God, pastors, society in general, I don't enjoy sitting in front of a man of God and listening to them speak.
Mm. Why?
Yes. I just feel everything they're talking, or most of the thing they're talking is just how will I describe it? I don't want to use the word rubbish because yeah, it's not coming certain pastors. I don't want to use the word rubbish, but
Do you
it's,
feel
it's
that
most
it's
of the things they are saying is misleading.
uh,
Let me use that word, it's misleading. But in Africa, Christianity is one of the problem and it's like a bondage we have in Africa, not just
mm,
Nigeria. So but people believe on this man of God. If you speak wrongly of a man of God, people will definitely will come for you. Will come, Nigerians will come for you.
the Nigerians will be coming for me?
Yeah, they are so connected to their pastors, not just in Nigeria, all over the world. The Christianity thing is so strong that some people they don't want to think out of the book. They just
Mm.
believe whatever they've been told
Mm.
about the Bible. That's what they believe in. When I started spiritual enlightenment,
Mm.
my elder brother started looking at me like a devil
Mm.
because he couldn't understand all of a sudden where am I getting all this knowledge, the things I used to say, what is happening.
Yeah.
Like he could not comprehend that, oh my God, what is he talking about? When I started asking questions, started reading more, started I used to read 4 different books a week
Oh wow.
about Christianity, about religion, different religion.
Mm.
And he couldn't comprehend and when I opened my mouth to speak, everybody in my house, not just my elder brother, my mom, even Daniel that you see there,
Mm.
David. David it didn't really bother him, but he doesn't really care. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, they used to look at me like, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? Like I started reading different books, different religion, just to I was in search of something. Like I felt like something was missing when it comes to Christianity, because why all of a sudden the men of God are doing this, or they are doing that, or they are doing this, or the church is like this, or I never understand why people will go to church every single day,
Mm.
but they have no church in them.
Mm.
You understand what I mean? Every
Yeah.
single day you go to church, but there is no church in you. The meaning of Christian would say is like Christ,
Mm.
but there is nothing like Christ in you. You go to church, you gossip, you backbite. In fact, church has not even finished. As you're coming out from church, you're gossiping.
Mm.
You come to church, you're looking at people that dress well and people that didn't dress well. Is that what we come
You're
to church to do?
judging.
That's not what we came to church to do.
Yeah.
I was in the church for so long, I saw all these things. I started wondering, what is happening in the church?
Mm.
The pastor have people that some set of people that he favors.
Mm.
He has some people that he will always rebuke when they do the slightest of things.
Oh,
But
really?
some others will get away with murder.
Oh, really? And yet God is meant to just love everybody and treat everybody equally.
Equally. So yeah, when I see so many of these things, I started searching. Then I quickly understand that I have to have my own personal revelation. I think that is
Mm.
that is when I started searching, and when I finally got that, I was at peace.
Mm.
So as I am now, no man of God will come and tell me this, that, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. I already know who I am.
Mm.
If you don't know who you are, if you don't find yourself,
Mm.
you keep on believing whatever a man of God or any prophet or prophetess come and tell you. As I
Yeah.
am, nobody will come and tell me this. If you tell me that I'm going to be a great man, I've seen it before,
Yeah.
that I'm always going to be great. So I don't panic. You
Yeah.
can't come and tell me about my future. Have you
Yeah.
seen me panic about my future before? Since you ever know
No.
me,
No. Never.
I've never panicked about my future. I'm not crazy about money
No.
or worldly things. I know they will come with time.
You're not. You've never. You're not reliant on a man of God
Mm,
to dictate your
yeah,
destiny.
yeah. But my destiny is not in anybody's hands. If I work hard and I'm a good person,
Mm.
my destiny will I will always fulfill my destiny. If I don't
Mm.
fulfill my destiny, fine. I'll come back later and fulfill it. That's what I believe.
Mm. And so you haven't actually been to church for quite a long time.
Yeah.
But I think that comes from a place of you don't feel like you need to go to church to be a Christian.
Yeah, I don't feel like I need to go to church to be a Christian. All I need to do is just be a good person every single day of my
Mm.
life. I'm fulfilling whatever the Bible is preaching.
Well, I mean, people go to church and still sin.
Yeah.
The very
It,
Bible that they read and the sins are the same sins that they're leaving the church that day and committing. So
yeah.
sometimes I find it quite hypocritical. So I don't think,
The thing is that they will always say, as Christians, we're not perfect.
well, nobody's
Yeah,
perfect.
nobody's perfect, but I don't really like that word.
Mm.
You understand? As Christians, we're not perfect. We know that we're not perfect.
It's almost
But
an excuse
yes,
to
that's
sin.
that's what I'm saying. That's why what I was searching for when I was searching for something is to I did, as for a very long time I did isolate myself. I was looking for how can you connect yourself with God? Like how can
Mm.
you that God can speak directly? And that is the highest level of consciousness as a human being.
Mm.
And I discovered that for me to get into that consciousness, I have to leave everything behind.
Mm.
You have to forget about material things. You have to forget about this. You have to forget about family. You have to give up on so many things. That is the sacrifice. That is the ultimate sacrifice for you to attain that highest level of consciousness.
Yeah.
And it's only the monks have got it,
Mm.
because they don't care about anything about getting to that higher level of
Mm.
consciousness. They live their life. They don't think about money. They grow whatever they eat. They
Yeah.
live a very simple life. They read, do a bit of work, and they meditate.
Yeah. As I've been scrolling, I've seen pastors go into service with an entourage of people, and I just think, do they need that? Are they not just an everyday person?
Um, the biggest men of God, some of the biggest men of God in Nigeria are seen and treated as kings.
Mm.
Founding fathers, whatever they call themselves, yeah, they're seen as kings. So
Can I ask what makes them like elite of the pastors? What sets them above?
they've got fame, they've got money, they've got power,
Mm.
they've got knowledge that an ordinary man doesn't have.
Mm.
So yeah,
I mean, surely that's not fair because God is meant to love everybody equally. So they're like up here, and those who are truly suffering and are going to church for a reason, like down here.
yeah, that's the way it is.
I mean, I've even seen some with private jets. I mean, the everyday person, considering we're talking about a country that has so much poverty, how can somebody who is serving God show such wealth?
Um,
Is it necessary?
well, for the men of God, it is necessary. They want the work of God to be smooth as possible. So imagine a pastor has been invited to preach in Lagos.
Mm,
He based in Port Harcourt. Do you expect him to be going to the station or taking a bus? Dan, do you know how many hours it will take him?
absolutely, I do.
8 hours it will take him to take a bus or to drive with his car down. So yeah, if he's got a private jet, he will just in 30 minutes, 45 minutes, will be down in Lagos resting until when it's time for him to preach. So that is the thought.
You're
But
justifying
it,
their
they,
private
they,
jet.
they can justify it whatever they want to say. I'm just saying. But for me, me thinking there's no reason why a man of God, should have a private jet when lots of people in his church can't even afford three square meal.
Well, probably not even 1 square mil some
Yeah,
days.
yeah. So
With the
yeah,
cost of everything right now in Nigeria.
yeah. I don't. Have. So these are the questions I always ask myself. It's good. It's fine. Pastors live life of luxury now.
Mm,
I look at them and I look at the Jesus Christ that they are preaching to me in the Bible. Was he living a life of luxury?
mm,
No. Jesus Christ used 2 fish and 5 loaves to feed 5,000 people
mm,
that came to listen to him preach.
yeah.
If he wanted to live a life of luxury, he would have lived a life of luxury because he had it in his fingertip.
Mm,
You understand what I mean? So
yeah.
I think about so many people read the Bible but they don't understand the Bible.
Yeah. Or they don't make that connection of what they're reading in the
I'm
Bible
telling
and
you,
what they're seeing
and,
before
and, and,
them.
and what they are saying before them. You understand?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ used to trek with his leg, moving from places to places with his disciple.
And yet we've got men of God travelling by private jets.
Yeah. So you see where the problem. Nobody's saying the man of God should trek or should.
Well,
Yeah.
I am. Because for me, I personally can never go and stand in front of a lot of people and preach something thinking I'm better than them. I'm not better than anybody stood beside me or sat beside me, as you are not better than me. There is nobody higher than me, but equally there is nobody lower than me. So I can't go and preach to people and leave service and go and hop on my private jet whilst the people who are sitting or standing before me are going home to no food or worrying about, I don't know, they could be worrying about medical and they can't afford to go to the hospital. And there's me, just because I've got some money, going and hopping on a private jet and living life of luxury. And then I want to come and preach to these people.
That is the reward of serving God. That is the reward of being a middleman.
No. Who decided that that is the reward? The reward should come from your heart. The reward should go, I'm helping these people. I'm giving them belief. I'm giving them hope.
No. That is
But
their.
I'm equal to them.
Yeah. The men of God reward is the earthly reward. Why the men of God expect you to get your reward in heaven. You understand? Let me say it again. The men of God get the earthly reward, which is all the riches they get as the middlemen that God speaks through them. But your reward, you get it in heaven. Do you get the point?
Yeah. And do people not think that's one big scam?
I wouldn't call it. I don't want to use the word. I don't want to use the word
Well,
scam.
I am, because
Yeah,
how can anybody sit there and justify to me or anybody else that I can reap rewards on this earth, but you can only have rewards and good when you go to heaven? That's if you go to heaven.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
make that make sense to me, because it doesn't.
Yeah, I think lots of Nigerians don't ask questions. They don't want to enlighten themselves.
Is it that they don't want to enlighten themselves, or that they've been told this growing up, because this is a generational thing and it's being passed down, and it's just become so normal, it's just part of the culture?
Yeah, I think about when it comes to religion, especially Christianity. When I came to the UK, my mentality changed as well when it comes to Christianity. Imagine when you're filling a form, they ask you all that about Christian or whatever, whatever. The day we got married, we were not even allowed to play anything in religion.
Yeah, because we didn't get married in a church, so people may not know that I don't have a religion.
We invited people that were invited. They didn't come to our wedding because we were any. They didn't care about religion.
No,
If
of
we're
course they
religious,
didn't.
we should have been allowed to play whichever religion music because they come in there for us, not whatever. Even if you invite a Muslim person to your wedding and you play Christian music, it wouldn't be forced about it. It wouldn't even bother because
But it's
it's
because,
not coming there for a religion. It came there because it is your wedding. You
but
know.
in this country,
Mm,
you are only allowed to speak of God and have a Christian ceremony
mm.
in a church.
No, no.
You are not allowed to.
Why is that?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know, because I'm not a Christian,
Mm,
and I've never been raised in any religion
mm.
or have any belief. I wouldn't know, so I can't answer it, because that's not something that I've even ever looked into, because it doesn't interest
Yeah, they
me.
tell you that religion is just bullocks at the end of the
Well,
day.
can we then start to
Yeah.
say, is it a business? Everywhere, but I think in Nigeria more so, because you have to pay the church to get married in a church.
And do you pay the church? Over here, do you pay the
Yeah, you
church?
have to pay. If you want to get married in the church, you have to pay the church to get married there.
Yeah, there are certain
But why is the rule that you cannot even mention God in the poems that we pick, in the
mm,
songs that we choose, in the vows that we make? We're not allowed to mention anything religious.
yeah.
So let's say you are a Christian, and let's say you wanted to have a religious ceremony and we had to get married in the church. I myself would have had to become a Christian and be baptized and attend church regularly.
No.
Yeah, no, in this country,
Okay, in this
yes.
country. Okay.
Yes, in this country, that's how it works.
Mm,
I myself would have to become a Christian and attend church regularly. I think it's about 6 months.
mm. I think in some churches in Nigeria as well because they have to ask you ask which church is your partner coming from
Oh, okay.
as well. So
Oh,
yeah,
so hang on. What does that mean by which church?
like you might be dating somebody from another church, isn't it? The
But a
same.
church is a church.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You might be dating somebody from another church. You're bringing that person from that church, to your own church. Because when you get married, sometimes the person have to leave their own church and start coming to your own church, isn't it? That's the way I think it is
Oh,
most of the
so
time
hang
in
on. So is
Nigeria.
that a thing there? So you couldn't just go, oh, this week I'm going to go to this church, or next week I'm going to go to that church. You can't pick and choose your churches. This is your church, and
You,
that's the church you remain at.
yeah, that's the way it is in Nigeria. So yeah, you can't just today you go to church A, tomorrow you go to church B.
But should it
Does
not
it?
matter what church you go to, because you're not going to church for the church or for the pastor. You're going there to pray. You're going there
To serve
to
God.
serve
Yeah,
God.
yeah. I think
To
I think at one point that is what I started doing. Every Sunday I'll just turn up to a church because I'm going there for to serve my God, not for any
mm.
man or for any man of God. That's what people think. They think that they are going there to for the man of God to see them, or they are going there for the man of God to I don't know to make yourself feel better. You're going there to serve your God. If you have one day after you've been busy Monday to Saturday, Sunday you go to church and serve your God. Tell your God that I'm here. I'm in your presence, isn't it?
Yeah, so would you
Yes.
say churches over there are competitive in terms of they want lots of people going to their church? Whoever's in charge of that church, they want to see lots of people. And let's say the other man of God down the road, he's got 100 more people than you.
Yeah.
Is there a competitiveness to it, or it doesn't matter?
It's like church is like a business.
Mm.
The church itself is run like a business entity.
So, like here, we have the Church of England, but over there is each individual church a business. It's not like there's one name and all these churches underneath, or
Yeah, we
how
have
does it
some.
work?
We have lots of bigger churches.
Yeah.
They have different branches,
Okay.
and we just have lots of thousands of churches are just singular church. I could just be a pastor and just go out and open my own
Oh,
branch.
okay. Well, yeah, because some of them aren't even churches, are they? They're,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean, what I in my head a church is like you've seen the churches in this country.
yeah,
They look
yeah.
very
I'm telling
historical
you,
and very
yeah,
beautiful,
I
and
can, I can, I can. If I was a pastor, I can start a church in this house, and every Sunday, the Nigerians that live around, the Africans that live around, will come and worship with me. I'll preach to them. They'll put
in our
offering
house.
in this house. Yeah, in this house.
So
Bring
anybody
people to
can
the
just
house.
go, do you know what?
Yeah,
I'm going to be
the
Pastor
pastors.
Laura.
Yeah,
I've liked this building.
mm,
This is a great spot. I'm going
mm,
to open up.
yeah, and that's it. You
How do I
don't.
pay for that?
How do you pay for it? If you've got money to pay for it, some people, oh, because a pastor, they can give you a space and you pay little money, and you start a church from there. And as people start coming, the church will grow.
So do people who go to church, do they contribute? Do they pay any money? How is the pastor?
Yeah.
Is the pastor making money, or do they have a salary? Are they making money from
Listen,
being a pastor?
if you go to church
Hmm.
as a Christian, if you go to church, your it's compulsory that you must put offerings.
Oh, stop.
It's compulsory. If you work, like if you earn money, you must pay your tithes. So as a Christian, you pay offering, you pay tithes. There are some extra dues you pay if you go to that church on a regular.
Yeah.
You pay those dues. Then there are donations you make in the church if the church has a project.
Hmm.
So a lot as a Christian, I know how much my mom used to spend in the church.
I
But
know.
I
Bless her.
don't
Even recently, she
yeah.
cooked for everybody in the church.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I will never tell my
Yeah.
mom not to do this, not to do that, not in the church. I will never, because that's what she believes in.
Yeah.
If you have if a strong belief that this thing will give you this thing will give you this thing will give you that, and that is fine.
I can never take somebody's belief from them.
Mm.
Even though I don't believe in God, I can't sit here today and say, how can you believe in God? There is
Yeah,
no God. And
yeah.
I've not said that. I just can't get my head around who thinks they've got a right to be the middleman and to fool
Mm.
people who I almost believe the people who are going to church week in, week out are the true believers, aren't they?
Mm. Yeah.
So I can never take anybody's belief off of them, or that they are wanting to give to the church, because that's their good deed.
Yeah, that's a good
They
idea.
believe that they're doing good. So I can
But
never take that from somebody.
with the teachings and the doctrines, the men of God make it sound like if you don't give, you're in trouble.
In what sense you're in trouble? That bad things will happen to you, or
Yes, in some ways, in like that, you will be exposed basically for attacks, spiritual attack, physical attack, whatever. They makes you believe giving to them or giving to the church will open door for you. Givers never lack. That's the word they use.
mm,
Do you remember when in the Bible when Abraham was to sacrifice Isaac and God asked him, "Don't sacrifice your only son, sacrifice the lamb."
mm.
Yes. So they quote so many scriptures in the Bible to manipulate the mind.
Mm.
to manipulate the mind. That's why I
To
say,
get what they
yeah,
want.
yeah. That's why I say people are weak. It's just beginning to come out now that most of the miracles that we've been seeing are fake miracles.
Well, I was going to say, do you think
Mm.
that they pay them
Yeah,
sometimes?
some of them are paid.
Paid actors
Yeah, some
almost.
of them are paid. I always used to say, if you're a man of God and you know that you've got powers, you don't need to host a crusade for sick people to come and you heal them.
No, you would never either, I don't believe.
Yeah. All you need to do is to go to your house, pray, speak to your God. God, today I'm going to this hospital. They've got lots of sick people.
Mm.
Whether they believe or not, if God speaks through you, if God is using you truly as a man of God, you go there, you stand there. By the time you start praying,
Mm.
if God is with you,
Mm.
people will start getting healed.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
People will start getting ill. Once you get, even the ones that don't believe, just tell them once you get there to believe. It's not rocket science. You start
Mm.
praying. If you're a man of God, a real man of God.
Mm.
If you're a real man of God, people will be healed when you start praying.
Yeah. And do the people who are healed, do they need to be believers in God for that to work?
You just have to believe that your affliction can be healed. The
Mm.
woman with the issue of blood in the Bible, she believed that if she just touches the hem of the garment of Jesus Christ,
Mm.
she will be healed.
Mm.
That was imagine. I believe it doesn't. Jesus Christ didn't need to speak to her.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ didn't need to preach to her. Jesus Christ don't need to lay his hand on her. She
Mm.
just believed that if she can just touch the hem of his garment,
Mm.
she will be healed. She
Yeah.
so she managed and struggles to touch the hem of his garment. When she touches the hem of his garment, Jesus Christ felt that something has left him, like power has
Mm.
left him.
Mm.
And he told the woman, your faith has made you. So you have to believe for something to happen as
Okay.
well. You have to believe for something to happen.
Yeah. So when people are giving money in the church, what is the pastor doing with that money?
Um, the money is not the pastor's money.
Okay.
The money is meant for the church.
Okay.
The running cost of the church,
Mm.
because yeah, as a church, you're incurring lots of costs on a
Mm.
daily basis.
Yeah.
Sometimes some bigger churches they have workers working for them every single day. So yeah, you have to pay them, isn't it?
Mm.
But from time to time, the pastor is signing him and the treasurer or the accountant of the church,
Mm.
isn't it? So sometimes he do, get money out to, help himself, isn't it?
Well, I was going to say, so
Yeah.
if you choose to be a pastor, are you receiving a salary? Like, do you pay yourself?
Some men of God will say the tithe goes to the pastor.
Okay.
Yeah, the tithe go to the pastor. As
Mm.
a man of God, if you have helped people, if you have done work for people as well, they will give you money.
Mm.
They will show gratitude. They will give you money. You get lots of gifts all the time. We have pastors' day in church. That day you're coming for your pastor. You're
Mm.
coming to appreciate your pastors in the church.
Mm.
Yeah, it's an event every once a year.
So, what we've said about pastors, do you think they are part of the problem in Nigeria?
Um, I wouldn't say that they're one of the problems in Nigeria.
Mm.
Because for me, I always speak for myself. I can't remember the last time a man of God comes out and tell the government. Remember, men of God are
Mm.
highly respected in the society. I can't remember the last time a man of God come out to tell the government like people are suffering.
Mm.
What are you doing to help the people?
Mm.
So the Nigerian politics is one of them. The
Mm.
second one is the pastors
Mm.
because the pastors have got millions of brethren. Who are those brethren? Ordinary Nigerians
Mm.
that are supposed to benefit
Mm.
if the government make good decisions.
Yeah.
So this is me thinking with my head because my head is always thinking all the time. So if the the pastors were always speaking, doing their job, they think their
Mm.
job is to come and collect that and offering and preach and do miracle. That is not their job. Their job is to almost be like a check and balance to the government, telling the government that because they are respected. As a man of God, as a man of God, you tell the people in charge, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. Not like you're telling them what to do, but let them know the things that the common man is suffering.
Yeah.
Like you're telling them openly, not
Yeah.
yeah.
So are pastors well respected by government officials?
Yes, because after elections they all go flooding. Some pastors pray for politicians for them to win election. If you're a man of God and you pray for politicians to win election,
Mm.
I do not value you.
Well, in my opinion, how can you mix religion and politics?
Yeah, you can't.
You can't, and you shouldn't.
You have to be neutral as a man of God.
Mm.
Whoever wins, wins.
Mm.
Then you support them because they've won the election and you checkmate them.
Well, I suppose in a way, the governments and men of God should want the same thing
Yeah,
for
exactly.
people to prosper.
Yeah, so this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that in Nigeria, the church don't pay tax because the church is not seen as a business entity while it's a billion-dollar business. You understand what I mean? So, because the men of God are not speaking against the politicians, they get away with it.
Well, are they working together?
That's what this is.
I'm just thinking now, like, are they working together?
My brain has been thinking. I'm talking about the bigger churches. They don't ever speak against the politicians.
Because, okay, here's
If they start
something.
speaking about the politicians, you say, okay, the politicians say, okay, you have more to talk. Okay, you start paying tax. We'll make sure that we're looking at every activity that you're doing, all the money you're spending. You understand what I mean?
Here's something for you. So I watched Peter Obi on a podcast, and he was talking that churches are big businesses in Nigeria. That when you're walking down the streets, there are billboards advertising churches and not product. So as we've just said now, like, it's got me thinking, are the governments and churches working together to almost suppress people, control people? Because if people are going to church every single day, day and night, and they're not working, we don't have the facilities for people to go and work, well, the government must like that because it's keeping control and keeping people suppressed. It's keeping everyone poor because you've got all the resources to flourish in Nigeria.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Nigeria, people think that Nigeria is a poor country. Nigeria is not a poor country. Nigeria is just poorly run.
Yeah.
Or poorly governed.
But what I'm saying, but can you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's got me thinking, the fact that there are billboards of churches and not businesses and products, and everybody seems to think that that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, how come I've always believed, and this is my belief, that religion was created in a way to control people.
Yeah.
To, we can look at hope and everything and all of those things, but I do think it's a way of controlling. So by keeping people in church and not coming up with great ideas, great businesses, building the infrastructure to make Nigeria a really strong country, the churches are loving it because it is a business and they're making money from it.
Yeah.
They've got some power. The government's loving it because for some reason they don't want Nigeria to flourish.
Yeah.
They don't want people to come out of poverty. And so it almost feels like they're working side by side.
Yeah, they're working side by side, but if you tell this to an ordinary Nigerian that his brain is not open, they would think that you're talking jargons.
But that's not me hating. There's no hate or disrespect from me to the everyday Nigerian person, or the person that believes in God or Christianity, or the person who even goes to church. But nobody can sit here and say that it is acceptable to go to church day in, day out, day, night, multiple times a week, and believe that they're making a difference in this world and that you're going to have a better life.
No, you can't have a
You're
better
never going to
life.
have a better life.
There are gonna be few people that are doing well in the church.
Yeah, of course.
Everywhere they're gonna be. It makes the church looks like sometimes in our churches we want to show off everybody's packaging. So you really won't know who is struggling and who is not struggling. But I
Well,
bet
isn't
you
that funny?
90% or 99% of the people in church are struggling. Especially now that things are expensive.
But I find that so sad because
Yeah.
if there are people genuinely struggling and you're going to church, isn't there a sense of community in church? And so shouldn't you all be helping each other? And if there is one person or there is more than one person struggling, it's about all coming together and going, okay, we've got you. Instead of, oh, I'm this, I'm that, and putting on a persona that...
Some churches do it.
Yeah.
To a degree. But yeah, you can only help somebody that wants to be helped, isn't it? Some people are serious. If they're struggling and you try to help them, if they're serious, then that's it. Some people, they just need little push. You give them that little push and you see them, they go bang, bang, bang. You understand? Yeah. So the churches do help people, but some of them are it's just strictly business. Because if the church is not a business, I can't understand why a church will have a university or a secondary school or a primary school, a nursery school that the poorest of their members can attend.
They can't attend.
Can afford. If I was a man of God, this is me speaking. If I was a man of God,
yeah,
and I open a church, I open a school, be it secondary school or primary school, I will make sure that whatever fees I'm putting there, the least person in the church can be able to afford.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I want to give quality education to the least member of my church.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not to put, see, there is no, I don't know, Nigerians will come and say that my brain can't comprehend that.
No.
I will be going to a church.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll be going to a church and I've got kids. Just imagine, I've got kids, I'm in Nigeria, I'm going to a church and the church has got a secondary school, a primary school that they build with church money. That money didn't come from the man of God pocket. Because he didn't have money before. So now he's got money to build a school. It's money that people raise for him. People gave him money the church, people have been giving through the church. You understand?
Yeah.
Nobody, if somebody came and gave him or just build a school for him and give him, okay, I've built a school for you, that's a business, take it. But still, you're still a man of God. That name, man of God, that name, man of God, you should be. It comes with so many responsibilities, not for you to sit down in wealth.
Well, I find it so hypocritical that you can make somebody feel bad for not giving to the church.
That's what they do.
But they do not feel bad that their poorest members cannot have access to the education that they've in a school that they've put in place. Yeah. They don't feel bad about it.
No, they don't feel bad about it. Maybe
they want to be hypocritical and make the person who's giving, who has contributed, feel bad.
Yeah. I went to a church, a smaller church, and this man of God, he was invited that day. And he was just talking about money. Give. You know, people were just giving money. It started from like 100,000 naira and ended up in 500 naira. And after he asked people to give 500 naira, he said, you're sitting there, you've got 2 phones. And then I was using 2 Samsung phones.
Oh, this was said to you?
It's not said to me. It said if you're sitting there and you've got 2 phones,
sorry. Yeah,
you better come and give one. If you're sitting there and you've got a car, come and submit the car keys. If you're sitting there and you've got land that you have not built on, go and bring the papers. Come and give it to the pastor. Like, who gave you the audacity to take that thing that somebody have worked hard for?
Yeah.
You know, that is the highest form of manipulation ever. Telling people that if they don't give those things, God will not bless them.
Mm.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't
God
it?
will not bless them. And I was just looking at these people. I went to church because it was a Sunday, and I was just looking at these people. Some of them were just coming out fine.
Mm.
Some of them, one man was crying. He was crying. He was shaking his khaki, crying.
I mean, surely
And
people didn't actually give any of their stuff.
people give. So at the end of the day, as Christians, we must ask ourselves some of these questions, and we
Mm.
must demand more from our pastors, because the pastors are the ones that God is speaking to.
Well, what do you want from them?
What do I want from the pastors?
Yeah.
I want them to be truthful to the ordinary man.
Yeah, I was going to say honest.
Yeah, to be honest to the ordinary man. Yeah, these people don't have much, but they are willing to give. That's one beautiful thing about Nigerians.
Mm.
We don't have much, but we're willing to give.
Yeah.
Nigerians are wonderful people.
Yeah.
That's why the Christianity business thrive
Mm.
so much in Nigeria.
Oh, it's such a shame because
I'm
it's
telling
you're
you,
taking advantage
yeah, Nigerians
of people's
are.
good
I'm telling
nature.
you, Nigerians are wonderful people.
Mm.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. So what advice can we give to I mean, it's so hard because I think when you do truly, truly believe in your faith and your man of God, we're not here saying that all men of God are awful, are we? There's
No,
some genuine.
yeah, some genuine ones.
There are some
Yeah,
genuine who do want to do good, who
yeah,
are there not thinking they're better than anybody else.
yeah.
I mean, I'm saying that in good faith and that I'd like to believe that.
No, see,
I don't know because I've never been to them, but I would like to believe that there are those out there.
I've met a man of God that, to be fair, he is late, but
Mm.
I've seen few men of God. It was a small. It wasn't very. It wasn't. He didn't grow up to be a big man of God before
Mm.
it passed. But at that level, I was looking at him. I was looking. Oh wow, what a human being!
Mm.
Like, he's the kind of person that you will admire as a human being.
Yeah.
Material things never moved him. He's
Mm.
somebody that when he's paid his salary,
Mm.
the pastor that employed him, like the church where my mom was going that time, the pastor, he was employed by this like the general overseer
Yeah.
to our branch. But when he came in, when when he came in, he quickly captured everybody because of his
Mm.
way of life. He
Yeah.
didn't care about any material thing, but he's gone through so he went through so much that his story is just so pitiful. So if I think
Mm.
about it, I almost want to share it. It's just a pitiful
Mm.
story because he lost his kid, he lost his wife at the end, he
Mm.
lost himself as well. So boy, he was a good man.
Yeah, like you knew that
Yeah,
he was
yeah, yeah. It's
genuine.
like it was Jenny, somebody that could you could see him with his salary, his envelope in his salary, and he's sharing it to people.
Oh,
Do you have transport? Take it. Do you have transport?
really?
They'll pay him that Sunday. Maybe he gets, maybe
Mm.
the money has come or whatever. Maybe you withdraw it. We just put it in envelope. You see it. He didn't care about. He just wanted people to come and just worship.
Mm. Yeah. And that's how it should
That's how
be.
it should be. He just wanted people to just come and just worship.
Mm.
He loves singing. He was a singer. He read music in the university.
Mm.
He can play any instrument you want him to
Yeah.
play. He loves
Yeah.
music. He can sing. He loves to sing. He loves to
Yeah.
dance. If he's dancing, oh my god, he's just like Michael Jackson. If he's dancing,
Yeah.
he loves the word of God. He just want
Yeah.
people to just come, be happy, have fun. Don't
He
worry.
truly believed in the things that he was saying, like
Yeah,
in
yeah,
in his faith,
yeah,
in his Christianity, in his purpose, and helping people.
yeah,
And I fear though that that's probably not the case for majority.
yeah. Good people don't last. That was why his life
That's
was cut short.
true.
He was a very young man when he died. I don't think he was even up to my age now. I
Oh
don't think,
wow.
probably would be maybe my age, maybe 30 something. Yeah, that
Mm.
was it. It wasn't even. He was a very young man. He was just starting,
Oh wow.
and his life was cut short. So yeah. So I've seen some good men of God.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I think it's about if you are going to church regularly, just sit back and maybe just observe and watch and ask questions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not out loud, but to
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, to yourself. Ask yourself, like, you need deeper revelations.
Mm,
You need deeper revelation for yourself.
yeah,
But reading the Bible alone won't give you that.
yeah, yeah. I think there's an element of stop. I don't want to say it's wrong, but stop believing that going to church is going to change your life,
No,
because it's not going to change your life.
no.
Going to church is not going to give you wealth. It's not going to give you health.
And it's not going to
It's
make you
not.
go to heaven as well.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not. Because you could go to church and leave the church and be one of the worst people you can come across.
Yeah, we've seen them in church. The man I used to work for, he was um an usher in one of these big churches in River State. Like I said, this is the man I used to work for.
Mm,
So whatever his pastor is preaching to him doesn't get in his head. How can you be an usher in a church and be this wicked for people to work for you and you will not pay them? You pay them whenever you feel like.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
people don't ask that questions.
Yeah.
So when I see,
I think they just go, this is a man of God.
yeah, and that's it.
And that's
I'll
it. You
believe.
have to believe
I'll
everything
believe
he
everything he
says.
said. Yeah, yeah. Believe everything that comes out from his mouth is true. We love our pastors, our papas so much. Our papas, our men of God. We love them so much. We hold them. If people speak dearly of them, you're in trouble. Yeah, people speak dearly of them, you're in trouble. So yeah, at the end of the day, I have my own beliefs.
Yeah, as do I.
Nigerians can have their own beliefs. I can't.
I hope that I hope Nigerians can go, you're no better than me, though. Because the moment you start putting somebody up here and you're down here, where are you going? You need to be on par with people. Everyone should
but
be
they are men
equal.
of God. They are special, isn't it? God is speaking
But then
through
tell
them.
yourself you can go to school, go to church, read your Bible, and also be the same.
Yeah, but
A
they
man
have
of
power.
God.
Do you have power? They have power. They can heal the sick.
No.
The men of God have the powers.
No, they don't.
No, it doesn't.
Your mind has the powers.
But the ordinary man wouldn't know that, isn't it?
Well, I'm telling you that you do.
That's what I'm saying. The ordinary and it's
But
a
this is what I'm
typical
saying.
an
I
ordinary Nigerian.
want the Nigerians to open their eyes and believe that they themselves hold that power. For me, I believe in energy. People need to look at the men of God and don't feel like that they are better than them.
Yeah.
That they're all the way up here and superior and that every word they say is gospel. Start asking questions and start going, oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah. A typical Nigerian is very gullible. So yeah. So that's why we have so many issues when it comes to religion and ethnicity. You understand?
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Yeah, we've almost been programmed. Nigeria needs to open their eyes. They need to shine their eyes. That's the phrase always, you shine your eye. They need to shine their eyes. And again, for the pastors, they need to do more. More is expected from them, not to be asking people to come and put offering, tithe, and whatever. More is for me. When I look at the duties of a pastor, it's not all about collecting tithe, collecting rent. There are more that a man of God can offer to the society.
Well, I suppose they should be serving the people.
Yes, the church should be a place of building the people, not draining the people.
Yeah. And misleading them.
Yeah, so at that note, we're going to end there.